From the beginning, the original plan was to make him a person who has character, who is ethically and morally correct. And the best way to express this is that you are a person of similar character to God Himself. But let me be absolutely clear with you.
You will never become God.
This lie, permeated with arrogance, is the oldest that exists on this planet. And this desire to be divine manifests itself even in the most common circumstances of our lives. For example, when we try to control circumstances, the future, and the people around us. However, as creatures,
We will never be the creator. It is not your purpose to become God.
but rather to become like Him. This means being someone who assumes His own values, attitudes, and character. Thus, God's supreme desire for your life is not comfort, but rather that you develop a character like His. And this is not easy, and it will not be easy. After all, this is not heaven. Never forget that life does not revolve around you. As we have said countless times in this Purposes series, it is you who exist for God's purposes, and not the other way around.
But you must be wondering, how will I develop godlike character? There is only one possible answer to this question. This will happen as you choose to do the right thing in different situations in life, trusting that you will have the strength, moved by love, faith, and wisdom, to act correctly. The Bible compares character development to a seed, a building, and a developing child. Each of these metaphors requires active participation. Seeds must be planted and cultivated, buildings must be built, and children must eat and exercise to grow. So, too, is the development of godlike character. You can't just wait for this to happen as if by magic. In Ephesians 4:22-24, Paul mentions 3 things we must do to develop correct character in our lives. Firstly, we must abandon our old way of acting. Secondly, we need to change our thinking. And finally, thirdly, we need to assume the character of God by developing new habits worthy of Him. Character is basically the sum of habits. This means that being like God is a slow and long process of growth, but be sure of one thing. God is much more interested in who you are than what you do. We are human beings, not human doings. God cares much more about your character than your career, because it is your character that you will take for eternity, not your career. The Bible warns us, don't adjust to your culture so much that you can't think anymore. Instead, focus your attention on God. You have been changed from the inside out. Find out what He wants from you and try to fulfill it. Unlike the dominant culture, which always drags you down to the level of immaturity, God brings out the best in you and develops true maturity in you. Throughout this process, keep one thing in mind. Seeds explode from the inside out in a ritual of self-destruction, and a new life is born. You will need to go through this process if you really want to be a person of character. Only then will you let the purpose of your life be what drives it.